we are at the end of day 2, but we have another half day tomorrow. And we put a lot of importance to that, because then it's going to be a participatory process where all the different ideas that have been voiced here is brought together and shared, and through a facilitation will turn into sort of where to go from here, and what do we do together, how do we collaborate more strongly, how do we create the synergies to make the system change that we all seek and we have heard in these 2 days voiced over and over and over again. So this is also going to be facilitated by another of our partners, as you have seen, and all of these 2 days have been done through the partnerships that you have seen here, especially in this room. And ATÖLYE is one of those partners who is going to be facilitating that session. Here we have Melissa among us. If you just stand up, and she's going to be one of the team on the ATÖLYE for tomorrow. So yeah, 2 days, a long journey, we can say. I can see it already in my brain, you know, I can feel that. It's like sort of like churning with ideas and images and with all the wonderful people that we have encountered here. So we started with the opening remarks, and then Vincent Ligui gave us a great talk on degrowth and what degrowth means. And then after that, Erinç was with us, and he talked about doughnut economics. And while he was talking about doughnut economics, then we had a panel at the same time on degrowth, where with Vincent, our dear partner, Green Thought Association, which started with us on this journey. We were together, the first 2 organizations, kind of like Melanie's story, was the first farmer to join us, was Yeşil, Düşünce, Derneği, Green Thought Association in this journey. And we had Costanza Hep in that panel on degrowth, as well as Fikret Adaman, one of the great academic inspirers of many of us here in the room, who was one of the first academics starting to challenge the existing economic system and come up with new ideas. And then later we had, as Erinç finished his talk in this room again, a great session on doughnut economics, and Ekin was moderating that. Ekin, raise your hand, please. And he had a great session here with not only Erinç, but also Ali Ercan Özgür, who is, again, one of our partners here from INOGAR co-op. And of course, Ekin is a very close associate with the, again, of our partners with Onarım Atölyesi, Regenerative Workspace, and also with Doughnut Economics Turkey. And also we had Burcu Küçükünal. It was quite important for us to have someone from the finance industry here. As you have seen with Melanie's talk today, the finance industry is a very important part of all of this. And I hope Burcu Küçükünal, by not just being our sponsor at Akbank Lab, but also like participating here, we have diffused some of our ideas into that sector as well. So at the same time, Christian was talking and giving his speech over there, and then Christian and I came back here with a fantastic climate activist, Selin Usluer, who was again one of our partners here, İklim Öncüleri, over there, down there. It's like climate pioneers, it would mean in Turkish, and they were extremely active in social media, in sort of getting the word out to everyone, but also Selin was a great advocate for what all of this means for the youth. While this was happening here, Georgia Bekirdaki was doing her talk on the social and solidarity economics and what that means and how that relates also to the future that we want to create, how communities are extremely important in making that kind of future possible. So then in this road, then there were, in this room, right after her speech, Aylin Çiğdem Köne, would you raise your hand please, was here. Big applause for them. They're doing an extremely good job with Sosyal Ekonomi. I should have been there with all the partners, not over here. But here, Sosyal Ekonomi, they are the premier blog in Turkey who are talking about alternative economics and really getting the word out to everyone in our community. So thank you for that. But together with Aylin Çiğdem Köne, there was of course Georgia and also Ayşe Turunç Kankal from the ILO office, because it's quite important to involve UN organizations and reaching out to them and cooperating with them and getting and diffusing the kind of knowledge with them as well. And that, after that, Erinç Yeldan, our economy professor from Turkey here, from this university, my dear colleague, gave a great talk as well, especially talking about some really, policy measures that can be implemented to make a more fair society and enable us to have a future in this country as well, the correct economic policies that need to be implemented. And that concluded our first day. Can you, who was in the first day? So why don't you raise your hand? Great, so almost everyone in the room. So we have a very, very dedicated audience here. And then the next day, we started with Leida's great talk. And do I see Leida here? Ah, there you are, right in front of me. So please raise your hand, Leida. And yes, big applause for her as well, please. And Leida really gave us some hope and how, small businesses and being a business can make a huge difference in the world as well. And that we shouldn't only have kind of like this, how would you say, like the, not only the civil society hat that she and I wore for a long time, and that's when we met. I mean, she was working in the civil society, I was working in civil society, I was at Greenpeace, and Leida, which organization were you then at when I was at Greenpeace? At the SDG Watch or no? Ah, you were with the EEB, the European Environmental Bureau, which is a very important coalition of NGOs for changing and making environmental policy a reality in the EU as well. But now we find ourselves both in sort of the business and social enterprise sphere. No surprise, because that is not that civil society is not important. It is very, very important. I always get like being pitched against civil society as being a social entrepreneur or being like on the business side. No, it's not like two different worlds that are opposite for each other. They are ones that support each other, and when they work together, that real change really happens. And it is the same for academia, and academia needs to support us as well. And maybe that's why I'm also still here in academia, and that's also exactly why Melanie is active in academia as well, and many of us as well. Erinç is teaching as well at academia as well. So it is these triple really aspects that need to work together, these triple different institutions, academia and civil society and business, and of course the correct type of business, not the resource extractive businesses, but whether it be finance or people or the environment, but really be the businesses who are fair and just that we are talking about. And then, of course, while Leida was talking, there was the People and Planet First verification panel here with Merve Kavas and Erinç and Amanda, who talked about their great initiative and introduced it to the audience here as well. And while while they were doing that, right after that, Amanda was very busy that day. Right after that, she had the speech here on, we were all expecting that she would talk about this great, good market initiative that she has with thousands of great social enterprises. And what did we get? We got a methodology how to do real systems change. Complexity theory, diffusion theory, you name it. She gave us like hope that we can actually do systems change, and she also provided the methods for it, which I think we will all put to practice in our quest. While she was doing, again, our partner, INOGAR, INOGAR Cooperative, together with World Fair Trade Organization, because INOGAR Co-op is also a World Fair Trade Organization partner here in Turkey. And so therefore, Itır and Leyda and also Isabella Erşahin here from Bebemos, why don't you raise your hand? Big applause for the panel as well. She is the only fair trade organization certified organization here right now. That is going to change, right? And Isabella is going to help in that quest, because one person does not make a community. We need...
I'm feeling very long.
So, and after that great panel on fair trade enterprises, in the, again here, the power of social enterprises for economic transformation was discussed with our other partner organization, Ashoka, Türkiye. There are many Ashoka fellows here. I'm one, Sarah is one, Amanda is an Ashoka fellow. Anyone else from Ashoka or Ashoka fellow? Ah, there you are, of course, Akash is here from Ashoka. He is the Ashoka representative. He's come all the way from India just for this conference. Other than meeting my wife, that was his other goal. So thank you, Akash, for coming from all the way. So with Ashoka, we had this great session with Ezgi Özköksefer, who is the Ashoka director here in Turkey, Amanda, of course, and Berivan Elish from Impact Hub Ankara. And it hasn't been long, but they've been quite active. So big applause for Impact Hub Ankara as well. We have two impact hubs here, and both of them are here. You know, Istanbul, Ankara. We need Izmir now as well. I hope it's coming, right? And then next conference we'll have Izmir as well, I hope. Yeah, and then in the main hall, Ece was talking. Ece Satıcı, again, a young person who is there. There she is. Ece, give Ece a big applause, please. Imagine she's giving a plenary speech and she's set 19. I mean, how much do you see that in international conferences, right? So this is what we try to do here as well. We try to empower young people so that they become part of the change process. We don't give all the responsibility to them. No, it's us who's responsible. But they are helping us to create that future, and they are the driving force. We rely on them for new ideas, to break down our, ideas that we hold from, and maybe our biases, because they can look at things from a fresher mind. So Ece talked to us about the prosumer economy. She gave a good summary of the book that we wrote together with her. If you're interested in it, it's at the tables outside. You can have a look at the book, which is called Türetim Ekonomisi, in Turkish, the prosumer economy. And then, after her, there was a panel on the prosumer economy here with Gözde Şekercioğlu, who is a Council of 7 member and a producer who has a social enterprise. And then also with Defne Koryurek, one of the Good for Trust Council of 7 members and also an activist. And Serhan Süzer, who has a renewable energy company. He's in the business, like big business, but at the same time, he's there supporting us as a former Council of 7 member, as well as Burcu Arıkan, another founder with some very innovative techniques of using mycelium in packaging and creating the kind of deepened supply chains that we are looking for, and collaboration among the different kinds of producers in the Turkish ecosystem to bring their forces together to create something new. While that was happening, in the other room, Makoto Nishibe gave us a very inspiring talk on alternative currency systems and on LETs. We always think of money as one-dimensional, but he challenged us to think about money not only as money, but as language. So he was talking about money as language, as a symbol, something that is not only one-directional, but maybe that money can be multi-dimensional, be in a hyperspace. The money that you spend on, let's say, exploitation can get a very bad vector, I can tell you that. That turns that, good money into really bad money. But if you spend that same money on something which actually is regenerative, that gets a really good vector. So as the money walks through society, it can even create, if you want, a song. So think of it. Think of money in many different ways, and that's what Makoto Nishibe really challenged us in his very inspiring speech. It was difficult, I admit, but it was very inspiring. But sometimes, to get the good messages, you really need to listen in. You need to focus and try to understand. Sometimes the best and good messages don't come easy. They need effort. And then after Makoto Nishibe, we had here in the main hall, again, Melanie talked to us. She showed us how you can have a very compelling story with even not a single slide. So she got our attention like this. We were focused on her, and she gave a very compelling, beautiful story of how actually, there is a different finance possible, that there is a different way of doing the things that we all want to do when it comes to finding finance for the great businesses that we are trying to do. While that was happening, here in this room, again, the Good Money Lab with all its members, 5 members were here. They came all the way from Japan, 20 hours traveling, and they presented us what it is possible in terms of local currencies, what kind of challenges there are, and what we can do to overcome those challenges. And then right after that, here we had this beautiful panel, which the time was again too short. People wanted more, but we're also tired, I think. So thank you, Sarah, thank you, Melanie, and thank you, Ayşe, for this great panel. And then here we are now. I hope you had a great time during these 2 days, but the journey hasn't finished. Tomorrow, we think, is the most important part, because that's when we pull together all the different ideas and think about how we can collaborate, how we can work together towards the future that we all want to achieve. That systems change. How and what do we do from now on together is the question that we will answer. See you tomorrow.